This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
It's my schus to be here. Rishus Rabbi Entin, your Rebbeim, your Moros, and wonderful boys and girls. I'll start off telling you a story. Everybody heard of the toy company Milton Bradley? It's a toy company. So they decided that they wanted to package the Chanuka Dreidel and make it into something that you could buy in the store. They did a study that demographically there would be enough customers to buy it if they make it with lights, that when it lands on the letter would light up, and it would be rechargeable, and it would have chips that you could play with. So they called me up and they asked me to write them the rules and the explanation of the game. So I told them that I wrote down that over 2,000 years ago, there was a time that the Syrian Greeks did not allow us to study Torah, but the children would learn Torah, and when the inspectors would come to check, they would put away their books and they would whip out the dreidel and they would play dreidel. And then I explained them the rules of the game, that the dreidel has on it Nun Gimel Shin Hey, which stands for Neis Gadol Haya Sham, a great miracle happened there in Jerusalem. And if you get a Gimel, you win. If you get a Hey, you get half. If you get a Nun, it's nothing. And Shin, you have to pay. And I wrote it up nicely and I sent it to them. And a day later, I get express mail that the rules make no sense. What do you mean the rules make no sense? Well, since the Nun is miracle, that should be the winner. And then the next best should be the Shin, Sham, which is Jerusalem, your holy city. The whole rules don't make sense. So I sent them back. I didn't know that you would be so particular. So I said, I'll really tell you the real explanation is that it's based on a dialect that we speak called Yiddish, and that Nun is Nein or Nisht, so it's nothing, it's no. And Gimel is Ganz, which means everything. And Hey is Halb, which means half. And Shin is Shtel or Shtitz, which means to put in, to give. I was sure they would be satisfied, and I was wrong. They send me back another letter that they did a search on the time of the Syrian Greeks and the Antiochus, and they saw that at that time the Yiddish language was not yet invented. So it can't be. It doesn't work. So then I sent them back that you really have a good research team. So if you want me to really explain to you, I didn't know that so much work goes into producing a toy. But now if you want to know, I'll reveal you what's really behind the dreidel game. You see, in our alphabet, the first letter is Aleph. Aleph means the one and only. Aleph is one. And it represents God. That's why Aleph means the chief. And an Aleph is a diagonal Vav and two Yuds, which numerically Yud is 10, so two Yuds is 20, and the Vav is 6, it's 26, which is the gematria of Yud K Vav K, the ineffable name of Hashem. I said we believe in our way of living that when you're closer to God, you're good. Ani Kirvas Elokim li toiv, says David HaMelech in Tehillim. When I'm close to Hashem, it's good. It's good. And the closer we are in life to Hashem, it's good. So as we spin through life, and we do a lot of spinning, right? All kinds of directions life takes us. The closer we always are to Hashem, the bigger the winner we are. And the more, whenever you feel close to Hashem, that's what life is all about. Life is about, when you're close to Hashem, then you're not sinning. So the more we're close to Hashem, the better off we are. We have 1/3 of our mitzvahs is called Eidus. There are 3 sections: Chukim, Mishpatim, and Eidus. The Mishpatim are the laws that govern our coexistence, not to steal, to wear a mask, not to get people sick, all that. Those are Mishpatim. Then there's Chukim, the things we don't understand, but we do because Hashem tells us to. So we don't eat meat and milk, and we don't wear wool and linen together. Those are all Chukim. And then there's a category of mitzvahs called Eidus. Eidus are the testimonials. Those are the mitzvahs. Why is it called Eidus? Eidus means to bear witness. Eidus is the same letters. If you do an anagram of Eidus, it becomes Deus. The Eidus give us knowledge. So we have a whole category of mitzvahs that give us knowledge. What's an example of Eidus? A mezuzah. Because the mezuzah there is to remind us that Hashem is looking at us when we go into the room. And that the true protection of us is Hashem. Right? Ma yarmulke is an Eidus. Because yarmulke stands for Yorei Malka, fear of the king. Malka in Aramaic is a king. So Yorei Malka, that's why I wear clothing because you're looking at me. I wear a yarmulke because Hashem is looking at me. Right? So that's an Eidus. So I told Milton Bradley, the closest letter to Aleph is Gimel. So that's the winner. The next closest letter is the Hey, so that's half. Nun is already very far, that's nothing. Shin, that's all the way at the other end. That's the loser. Because when you're very far from Hashem, you're a loser. Now, one of the biggest examples of a Eidus is Shabbos. You know, let's say somebody is 98 years old and he dies. He's 98 years old and he dies. He goes to Shemayim and Hashem says to him, Yankel Shmuel, I see over here it's written that you like cholent. Yeah, I like cholent. Yeah. So I see over here it's written that you ate 628,000 spoons of cholent. Okay, sounds about right, you know. And 24,595 pieces of kishka. They have kishka in Philadelphia, yeah? Okay, just checking. So tell me, what were you thinking when you ate the kishka? I was thinking it was good. No, but I mean, what were you know? So he tells the truth in Shemayim. You got to tell. I tell you, when I eat, I'm not a philosopher. I was eating. I think maybe it needed a little more salt, maybe. But while you all think it's funny, Hashem wanted to hear, did you one time celebrate that the world wasn't always here? It didn't come from a big bang, but it was created by Hashem in 6 days and he rested on the 7th day. Do you ever celebrate that? Duh. All that kishka for nothing. But that's being close to Hashem. That's using an Eidus the right way. When we put on the tefillin, we're putting Hashem next to our heart, into our mind. I spoke about the mezuzah. You know, do they still have Parker pens? Yeah?
Wait, what? What is that?
Parker pen is a pen with a little arrow on it. Do they still, are there Cadillacs in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
You know what a Cadillac is? A Lexus?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you heard of that? You heard of that? You know it's a Cadillac because you see the Cadillac emblem. You see the Parker insignia. It doesn't say Parker. It doesn't have to say Cadillac. You see the L. Oh, Lexus! You have to train yourself. You see a mezuzah. Oh, Hashem! Just like Parker pen, just like Cadillac, just like Lexus. You see a mezuzah, Hashem. When you do that, you know what you're getting? L'man yirbu yameichem v'imei v'neichem. As we spin through life, we try to be close to Hashem. You know, I'm going to give you a gift. I brought you a Chanuka gift from New York. We're allowed to give gifts? I give them a gift. Give you a gift. At your age, it's a wonderful age. At every stage of life has its opportunities, its challenges and opportunities. You get older, you're going to have to decide who to marry. Then you're going to have children, and you're going to have to choose to bring up your children wisely. Right? Then your children are going to have to get married. It takes a long time, but right? And then you're going to have new people in your family, your children's wives and your children's husbands, and then you're going to have grandchildren. Every stage of life. Now, at your stage of life, one of the golden opportunities you have is kibbud avim, is honoring your parents. Now, yeah, if you call it an opportunity. Yeah. Let me tell you what you could do with a good kibbud avim. There's a family in Staten Island. The name is Edelman. Their mother passed away a few years ago at the age of 98 years old. A year before that, their aunt Edelman died at 98. And then they still had another aunt that was 97. 3 women living almost to 100. Now the Gemara says that when you see people live very long, you ask them, Bameh harakta yomim. In what merit did you live so long? So I said to them, family, did you ask them, Bameh harakta yomim? I mean, I want to know what water they drank. 98 years old, 3 sisters. He said, we asked them, and they all gave the same answer. This is my gift to you, because I would imagine most of you would like to live to 98, right? So this is the gift. It's much better than a slinky or a yo-yo, right? It's 98 years old. They said that our father, in the 1930s, remember this is very old women, our father was a grocer during the Great Depression. And in those days, they used to deliver the milk in glass bottles in wooden crates. They said our father had a bad back. And the wooden crates with the glass bottles were very heavy. And he had to bring in 8 boxes. 3:30 in the morning, they delivered them. He had to bring them into the store. And the whole day he would krecht. He would complain that his back hurt him. So we were teenagers then. 13, 14, and 15. We made a pact with ourselves that two of us would get up every morning at 3:30 in the morning, because it had to be two. We weren't strong enough to bring them in by ourselves. Two of us would get up every morning and bring in the 8 crates for our father. And we did that every morning in the snow. We gave up going to the camp in the summer to do it in the summer. And we did it all our teenage life. And we are sure that that's why that kibbut of Ein is the reason why we lived into our deep 90s. You should know that anything you do for your parents, and you're pleasant, and you smile, and you say thank you, and you're appreciative, and then I'm going to tell you an idea, because this is why you come to school. Really, why you come to school is to learn new ideas that you don't think of yourself. I'm going to give you a novel idea. Now, your parents might think you're sick in the beginning when you do this. They might be even worry about COVID, because it's so not like you. But don't worry, they could get used to it. Here's the idea. Don't wait for them to ask you. Once in a while, you could say, Ma, Ima, Ta, Daddy, Abba, I have a little time. Can I help with something? They're going to maybe put their head on your forehead and check if you're feeling okay. You don't have to tell them you heard it from me. But it's a very good idea if you want to really grab the golden opportunity. Take the initiative. Make it a Chanuka activity. I have some time. Can I help? You want me to maybe set the table? You want me maybe to run out to the store? I have a little time. Can I be of help? You don't know what you do. The 5th commandment. I remember way before you were born. Actually, I'm looking around the room. It's before some of your teachers were born. But I remember, as a young bacher, I had to go to London once for a chasana. And at that time, the crown jewels of the Queen of England were on display. They're not on display anymore. But they used to be on display. You went into a circular vault, and you got to see the crown jewels. And I remember going and seeing a ball of diamonds. It's called an orb. It was about the size of a volleyball. All diamonds. I remember asking the guard, how much does this cost? So he answers me with a British accent, which I'm not going to copy. I wouldn't do it justice. But he asked me, where do you come from, Sonny? And I said, Brooklyn. He said, we could buy Brooklyn with that ball. That's what he said. Okay. He doesn't know what it means to deal with Brooklyners. But anyway, how could you turn a bag of garbage into that bowl of diamonds? You take out the garbage for your mother or father. That's a schus l'nitzchias, forever and ever. L'man yaricha yamecha, l'man yitav loch. L'olam shikul yarach, l'olam is much more than that ball of diamonds. We're all going to go home and be part of the menorah ceremony. The menorah ceremony. We try to light it by the window. Pirsume Nisa. One of the messages of Chanuka is we let the world know our belief in Hashem, that Hashem loves us, that Hashem takes care of us. But we're not just doing it for ourselves. We have a vision to share it, that which is good by us, to the world. It's called Kiddush Hashem. to sanctify Hashem. Do you know that the worst sin possible is chilul Hashem, to desecrate Hashem? Do you know that it tells us that certain sins, as soon as you do tshuva, it atones for the sin and it erases it. Other sins, you need tshuva and Yom Kippur. Other sins are more harsh, more severe. You need tshuva, Yom Kippur, and Yisurin, suffering. But then there's chilul Hashem, to desecrate Hashem. The Gemara tells us to desecrate Hashem, to make people see and say, that's a Jew. Feh. Even tshuva, Yom Kippur, and suffering is not enough. If chilul Hashem is the worst sin, then Kiddush Hashem is the biggest mitzvah. And you know, you could do this all the time. A boy wears a yarmulke. A girl is a tsanua, modest. Everybody knows who we are. We're walking Kiddush Hashem machines. You go into a store, and there's a guy, a non-religious Jew, a religious Jew also, but we won't go into that. And you say, you only have 2 items, go ahead of me. Really? Yes, my pleasure. V'ahavta es Hashem alikecha shetei shem shamayim misahev al yodecha. The name of Hashem is loved through you. You're on a bus, and there's an old guy or a pregnant woman, a goita. You spring up, have a seat. Huh? There's something wrong with the seat? No. Have a seat. You know, I started that when I go to a gas station and I don't pump the gas, but the gas attendant pumps the gas, I started giving, people did this years ago, I started it again, I started giving $1 tip. And the man who's standing there the whole day, his face lights up like a light bulb. He sees me with a beard. And I don't look Amish. You know? And it makes a Kiddush Hashem. So now, you'll say, yeah, but we're in school all day. We don't have time to make it. Yeah, maybe they should let us out early sometime so we could make Kiddush Hashem. It's not. They like that idea, you know? But I have good news for you. You could do Kiddush Hashem in school too. You go into your secular studies department and you behave like it's your Rebbe. And you behave, and the teachers say, wow, these children are different. These are refined, cultured boys and girls. There is something to this Torah business, to this God business. That's a Kiddush Hashem. You should be on the alert for Kiddush Hashem opportunities. I again want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. And as you spin around, try to always be close to Hashem. Remember that the great camcorder in heaven is always looking at you. The Ayin Raya, the Oizen Shamas, is filming you. And behave accordingly. The way we speak, the way we act, the way we make brachas, the way we daven. In that merit, you all should be blessed, we all should be blessed with a happy, lichtige, wonderful Chanuka.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.